What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is David Greenspan, and hey, yeah, you're watching us on season 4 of the Mindshare podcast. Additional podcasts are available at mindshare101.com and on all the major podcast platforms. This week's episode is sponsored by by Kits Keep in Touch Systems and the Buzz Conference. Now, we just wrapped up the Buzz Conference last week. We wrapped up Recharge 2022. It was an amazing, amazing event. We had over 1,000 people there. We got to see some absolutely amazing people, networking, smiles, people taking selfies together. The speaker lineup was incredible. The exhibitor hall was amazing. I mean, the Buzz Conference, the entire team there put on an amazing, amazing, amazing event. And we did exactly that. We got to recharge. Now, just so you know, if you weren't there, well, you missed out. Like, you totally missed out. This event was amazing, but you can still catch more. Make sure you follow the Buzz Conference on Instagram at the Buzz Conference. Make sure you go over to their website, www.thebuzzconference.com. They are always putting on some amazing events. I know the next one coming up, there's there's another event coming up later on this month, I believe it is. There's an event coming up. I think it's the Queen Bee event. I know there's another event coming up in the fall. There are always a number of events going on with the Buzz Conference, so make sure you check those out. Also, get the latest copy of the Buzz Digital Magazine. Again, you are not going to want to miss it. So again, follow them at the Buzz Conference. Check them out on their website, www.thebuzzconference.com. Do not miss another event. Got it? All right, next up here. When was the last time you checked out the Kits Cross-Channel Marketing Suite? Now, I got to tell you, we got this really amazing review earlier today. I saw this that came through, and I thought, like, I had to share this. I thought this was so cool, right? Like, it's always nice to get good news from people. But this guy reached out to me and he says to me, hey, David, just wanted to personally reach out to you to first congratulate you on this one-of-a-kind kits system that is a real wow for any agent looking to grow and nurture his relations. Although I've made my homework and been there before, I must say your system is a no-brainer. You have tackled the process from every direction and angle someone would think of to make it complete. I had 2 conversations with your team. I'm happy to say that I will be joining on with Kits. Thanks and good luck. And thank you for always bringing amazing stuff to the real estate industry. You and your team are truly pioneers, and you are even one-of-a-kind person. Come on. Doesn't that just give you the warm and fuzzies? But it's very, very cool. And again, just a nod to the amazing stuff that's going on with the kit system. So if you haven't checked us out yet, please visit the website, mindshare101.com/marketing. And check out everything that Kits has to offer. Also, as you know, that we are on a push to get to 100 reviews on iTunes. And I would like to ask you, if you haven't yet, please take 2 minutes. Go over to Rate the Show and leave a review. You can do that at www.ratethispodcast.com/Mindshare101. Again, that's www.ratethispodcast.com/Mindshare101. Big 5 stars, 6 stars if they have it. A nice review. Tell us how much you love the show and tell us how much you love your guests. Of course, as always, today we have another amazing guest lined up. Hey, let's jump right into that because today is episode number 175. Now, he is one of Toronto's favorite realtors. His perfectly curated brand is highly entertaining and has captivated the attention, propelling him into the rooms of some of Toronto's most influential people. You can catch him selling gorgeous Toronto vistas, strutting the red carpet at a charity event, and dining at some of the city's finest restaurants. Toronto really is his playground. This week on the show, I am joined by friend and realtor, James in the City. James, welcome back to the Mindshare podcast.
Thank you for having me back. I feel like I was here, season 2, season 1? I don't know.
I don't even remember, man. It almost feels too long. I'll just come out and say it.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you, man.
Likewise. It was really nice catching up with you last week in person.
Yeah, you know what? Wasn't that awesome? What an amazing event. Just like, you know what, it was so cool. I've been to a few over the past number of months, let's call it, since things started to open back up. I remember being down in Atlanta in January. I couldn't believe how different it was to be down south and not have the same restrictions, but to get to the Buzz the other day and literally be there again. Everybody doing their own thing, some in masks, some in not, but a lot of people, you got to see smiles. You got to shake hands. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was very cool. So tell me, man, I want to jump right into this. We titled this one today, TikTok, how to generate and convert business.
Mm-hmm.
But before we start going down that road, and I know you are very much on the, sort of what's trending in social. You're about what's trending in a lot of different things, which is amazing. Right? I give you total credit for that. But from a social media perspective, and knowing who our audience is, like right now, what is trending right now? What should people really be aware of?
COVID. COVID has
Oh,
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm gonna say COVID somehow is retrending. It's like it's a new thing again. People are like,
oh
"Got
no, I don't even
COVID,
want to hear that.
here's my positive test." It's like, but it's trending, and people are making fun of it now to the point where like 2 years ago, we didn't talk about our positive COVID test. We were just like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be offline for a couple of days." Now it's like, "Here's my COVID test. I am sick," and I'm like, "No."
What's the deal with that? Like, I'd rather get over all that stuff. I don't even want to know anymore.
I thought we were done with this nonsense of people talking about COVID. So we hadn't heard about it in the
Man,
news for so long, and then it's reared its ugly head. But from a social media standpoint, TikTok has been, is being, and will continue being trending. It's going to replace a lot of other platforms. I know people don't want to hear it. They're so focused on their older generation of Facebook or social media marketing, aka Facebook. TikTok's where it's at.
gotcha. So is that like okay? So first off, going backwards on another thing from the COVID thing, is that actually having a negative impact on people now in terms of like? Hold on, let me rephrase that because I think it had a negative impact on everybody. But that whole idea of like if I'm posting about that and I'm making a big deal about that and trying to like almost publicize it or bring light to it in this like, hey, look, like, is it almost like, hey, stop talking about it? Not just because personally we want people to stop talking about it, but like for your brand even or just for who you are, should maybe that's not be the topic of what's coming up anymore because people are maybe a little bit on the other side of the fence now about it?
So I refuse to talk about COVID.
Cool.
I declined a social media campaign that was paying me a lot of money to talk about COVID and COVID testing, and I said this is not good for my brand,
Okay.
right? Because I did one tester post just to see the market, and because this was right after masks and all the restrictions were lifting,
Yeah.
and people came hard for me, and I said to the PR team, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is bad for my brand, so I won't talk about COVID,
Yeah.
right? I think the public out there now is like, hey, here's my test. I'm positive. Almost like, hey, I got my vaccine. What's up? Like, where's the rest of my homies at? It's kind of the same thing now. And I'm like, I'm tired of it.
Just get over it, right?
I would much rather talk about literally anything else.
I love it. I love it, man. Okay, well let's do that because I'm with you. I can't stand the conversation, and I think to anybody, if that's what you're leveraging to publicize your content out there, I think we can do a much better job of content creation than having to talk about that type of stuff. And whether it be COVID or some other illness, I think it's just the type of stuff that people like to stay away from. We like happy things and good things and positivity, and so let's go down that road. So you just mentioned TikTok.
Mhm.
And that being like the place to be right now. That's obviously your favorite platform at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, it's where I spend my time. Like, I don't really browse all that much. Probably like 20 minutes in the morning as I'm on the treadmill, or late at night when like if nothing's on TV. But
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
most part, I am just curating content, posting it, and then just engaging with my people. But I'm not aimlessly scrolling.
Okay, tell me about that because I was going to ask you. Like, I think a lot of times, like social, and this is for people that are maybe haven't been able to get themselves out there yet in terms of like just getting on camera or having that knack of posting. We'll talk about fear in just a second, but that whole thing of like, okay, so I'm on TikTok. I opened an account. Do I just scroll? Like, how do we actually act with purpose on TikTok? So in that 20 minutes on the treadmill or like later on at night, what are you doing? What is the actual game?
Yeah, so I mean, like when I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'm not just scrolling and watching the video. If it's something that's engaging to me, I'm commenting and liking the person's post, right?
Okay.
Because that's all what social media was meant for, is to be social with people. And then I want to create that dialogue. Yes, do I get in arguments all the time? But it's James in the City. Like, come on, right? I was born argumentative, right? But my arguments are just like they're either about the real estate market or just about like if I see something stupid, I'm like, I'm such a defender. I will defend people being trashed online.
I'm
And
with you there.
yeah, so there's a lot of that going on. But even for myself, like when someone's commenting back on my post, I don't spend the day like on my phone going replying to people. I'm doing that late at night. I'm replying to
Yeah.
you later on in the day. And but like we talked about in my episode, season 2 or season 1, whatever, when I was back the first time, we talked about my social brand. I always want to be the last person on that conversation,
I
right?
remember you saying that actually. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And I've seen realtors, I've seen mortgage brokers, I've seen broker owners take that logic and always make sure they're the last one closing the conversation.
Nice. It's a good little piece of advice. I think everybody thinks the onus is there to just spend the time on it, or the bigger thing is like post on it. I think what we already know about it is actually engage on it, like talk to people. You could like not post anything, but still engage with a ton of people and have success is on those platforms as long as you're doing that.
Because it breaks the barrier between celebrity and authenticity.
Right. Ooh, I like it. The barrier between celebrity and author. You're so right, eh? It makes you real.
Exactly. Because I'm engaging with the people. I'm not just posting and ignoring the comments. I'm engaging back. I'm letting people feel my if I'm getting trolled, my experience. If I'm getting applauded, my wins. If I'm getting criticized, my comeback. Right? Like I'm letting people into that. And like I said, it breaks down that wall of celebrity.
So what about a scheduling thing then? Like for you, is it just intuitive that you're going to go on there and do, or do you like, I mean, you just said it, morning, sort of evening time, but not a lot during the day because you're busy working, actually doing real estate transactions. You know, are you actually putting time in that says, okay, this is where I'm going to go and spend that time? Do you just know it intuitively? But is it structured in your mind of like, I will not be doing this during the day. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where like I'm waiting for a sign back and I'm in front of my desk. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Or like I'm at an appointment early. Sure, I'll grab my phone and scroll for 5 minutes. I'm waiting for my clients, right? But I'm not spending the entire day on this app. Like I've seen people who I'll post 3, 4 videos in a day, and it's the same people watching and commenting. And I'm like, do you have nothing better to do? Like I obviously appreciate the support, but it's like, where's your job?
Our friend Virginia's watching what's going on, Queen Bee. But it's
Yes.
true though, right? It's true. It is a matter of doing it the right way and spending time the right way. And so when we look and say the right way, part of engaging with other people, commenting on other people, liking other people, putting yourself up there and actually posting for yourself and putting yourself out there. Let's talk for a second about that, like with fear, because people have a big fear about that. You know, what are people going to say? What are they going to think? What are they going to do? How am I going to deal with it? And never mind, I mean, just posting a picture or texting or like posting text or commenting. Get on a video? I mean, you can't get on TikTok without having a video if you want to post.
No.
That's a whole nother level of fear. So like why do we need to get over the fear? Like what impact does that stuff have on our business when we actually get past the fear and say, I can do this, or I'm not worried as much about people?
Mhm. Yeah, so it's a variety of things. So, like if this is the scope of your social media, fear takes you this far, right? Like you can only do
Mhm.
so much with that fear. So I'm gonna put like $100,000 on fear. Once you crack that, the possibilities are endless. Because who gives a fuck what's going on over here? Sorry, I know I shouldn't be swearing because last time someone complained about my swearing on this podcast, but
Don't worry, we had our buddy Matt Leonetti on here a few weeks ago. I think that any one or two sentences we say this time isn't going to matter.
I was gonna say, like, I remember how hard I got the hate from the first part. Anyways, but once you break past that barrier of fear, the world just opens up. So I presented at the Buzz last week, and I talked about online hate, and I get trolled really hard. And a lot of the hate comes from my physical appearance, right? Yeah, I don't know because I know this is not people are not watching this live post the episode, but if you're gonna
Okay,
be,
fair enough. Yeah.
I'm pointing to the top of my head right now where I have a big bald spot in front of my hairline. And people always come back, hey, Baldy, right? Or like, if you
Dude,
make
until
so
you said that, I don't think I've ever noticed that. And I
oh, hey,
barely even noticed that now that I'm looking on
I'm,
camera.
I'm lucky that I'm 6'5". You're not looking up at my hairline, right? But on a video, like I'm sitting with my phone like in front of my face, and then that's all they see because it's right here. So their only line is, "Hey, Baldy, if you make so much money, go get a hair transplant. Where are your plugs at?" Do people still do plugs? This is not 1987,
Oh
right?
my
But
God.
they're so pressed on how I look. I don't give a shit how I look. I give a shit about my message. And my message is what makes me money because I just don't give a fuck anymore. So the fear is gone. So that $100,000 that's like week one of Q1. That's already been accomplished. There's the rest of there's another 51 weeks. And if you are fearful of what people say about you, you should not be selling real estate. Because at the end of the day, the traditional realtor is gone. Gone are the days of putting up a for sale sign and waiting for the buyers to come to you. You have to market the shit out of yourself. And if you're afraid of someone's going to say about you, go back to a 9 to 5. I'm sorry. Go back to a 9 to 5. You have to be controversial. You have to have haters because that's the only thing that fuels you to do better. Because you're only as good as the deal you did yesterday.
Would there be something about that then and going like, embrace the haters. I mean, I know we've
Yeah.
said that. I know you do. I do. Let's go. If you're hating, I go, I must be making a difference somewhere. You must be listening somewhere. You must be tuned in, right?
Honestly, I love the fact that I live rent free in so many people's heads. But my favorite response to the trolls
We
online
we
is,
we call that Mindshare.
thank you. Sorry. Yeah. It's been excuse me, David. It's been a minute since I've been a guest on the Mindshare podcast. I know. I'm sorry. I should be wearing my Mindshare hat too. It shouldn't go with the Dior sweater. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man, you've got
But
one, right? For
I
sure, you
have
got
one.
one.
It's in
Yeah,
my
you
closet.
have to have
I
one
was
for sure.
going to put it on this morning. But anyways, where was I going with this? Yeah. So my biggest response back to these haters is, you're such a fan. Let me send you an autograph. Shuts them right up.
Okay, but I'm still not past the fear. Okay, so I
Mm,
understand why.
okay.
How? How do I get past it?
I think you have to realize that you're never going to be everything to everyone, right? Some people will align with you, some people won't. But the ones that do align with you, they're going to promote you, they're going to share you, they're going to talk about you, they're going to put you in front of people that are just like you. And that's where the business comes from. If I was scared of or fearful of anything I put online last year, I would not have completed 32 ends from TikTok. I generated over 60 deals from TikTok, and I gave away about 18 of them to junior agents in my office. Those were
Wow.
all leases. The other 32 were buy and sells that I did solo as a solo agent from TikTok. Forget my database, forget other ads, forget open houses, forget, repeat referral clients. I'm talking new cold business from TikTok. 32 ends. The other 18 releases that were handed out to junior agents in my office. If I was fearful of what people were saying or fearful of saying the wrong thing, I would not have done that.
I hope everybody tuned into that one right there. That was a great point right there because the fear allowed you, just as you even sort of explain on camera here, but that 100 grand to that endless like millions, right? That opportunity that just grows exponentially. You get over the fear, you put yourself out there. Now you're generating what I'm calculating is like 50 transaction opportunities from TikTok alone because you gotten over the fear, because you put yourself out there, and because you engage with people. You've made yourself real. Like it's not just celebrity status now. It's I'm actually going to talk back with you.
Well, I mean, going back to my friend Jess Lenevel, who's got the Listing Lab, I've taken what Jess told me years ago, and I'm going back like when Listing Labs was just starting. Jess told me three things: relevancy, omnipresence, intimacy, and that's one thing that I do very well. So I have shared my struggle with addiction. I'm 13 years sober. I've shared the fact that I had an addiction in high school with a substance, right? I have shared the fact that I battled bulimia. I shared the fact that I'm losing my hair. I shared the fact that I've experienced violence in my life. And it's that intimacy that lets people in. If I was fearful of losing clients because of that, I would not talk about it, but I gain more clients from talking about it.
Is that almost the definition around when we say like be authentic?
That's exactly it. It's authenticity, because people only see you online as one thing, right? Like I forget that I know you very well, right? But I only see David, the Mindshare guy, hockey guy, motorcycle guy. You're also a dad, right? You've also got a great personality. We've spoken about things offline that I like private conversations, so I know a lot
Absolutely.
about you. And it's
Yep.
that intimacy that you've let me in that lets me know you're authentic, because you're not just the Mindshare guy,
Right.
right? Just like Virginia's not just the buzz lady. I mean,
Right.
she's so much more,
Oh
right?
my
And
God.
people who
Absolutely.
know Virginia intimately know how authentic and raw and real she is. And
Yeah.
that's what separates the real leaders from the sheep.
It's interesting you bring that up. When I was speaking at my talk at the Buzz the other day, I had I'd asked people, and we got into this whole thing of content and whatever else through like kind of the topic that I had there. But I'd asked people, I said, like, does anybody here actually follow me on Instagram? And like, fortunately, a lot of people put up their hands, which was very cool, right? It's a cool thing. But I said to people, I said, what do you know of me? And now you got a big room of people. I don't know how many people were there, but you got a big room of people. You got a lot of people that don't know you from a hole in the wall. There's a lot of people you're looking out at that maybe you've never actually met in person. There's a lot of people that follow. And so when I asked that question, and people start doing exactly what you just did, one guy goes, you love hockey, baseball, you love your Harley, right? You love your family, you love coaching, right? And when people did that, I stopped. And then one other person goes, "You love pizza." And I don't post about pizza that often, but I definitely love my pizza. And there's enough obviously out there that somebody's following. They go, "That's what you love." And now the whole room, I stopped and I went, "Do you guys see that? People now know more about me." And now we can have a conversation about any of those topics that have nothing to do with business, but now we're having a real conversation with each other. And I think that that's kind of that thing about authenticity, is to say, like, be who you are on this camera, on this microphone, in person when you meet people. Be that person. You've got to be the exact same person. Because I mean, I would say, and I'd ask you, like, do you believe that most of what we see online is authentic? No, right?
Not at
That's,
all.
you
Not at
know,
all.
how does that
I
harm
think
us then? How does that harm us when we're not? Because we've heard stories about that too, right? Like, oh, I saw that person. I thought they were a great person. I went and did a transaction with them, and I realized, like, they're not good people. You're like,
and
that's a screw up.
I think that's where TikTok is going to obliterate these other platforms, because it is video focused and you have to be
Right.
in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Instagram is so perfectly curated, right? Your filters, your lighting, your makeup, and you can Photoshop little things out. TikTok is raw and real because you're sitting with your phone and your ring light. That's all you have. And you've got 60 seconds. I mean, it used to be 50, but you have 60
Yeah.
seconds now to impress someone, right? But not only impress, to let them in. And I've used this line for the last 10 years. I've been on social platforms the last 10 years with my
Mhm.
business. When I go on a listing appointment, it's the same first two questions. How's Scott doing? That's my partner.
Yeah.
Those new shoes. That's the same question I've been asked time and time again. My listing appointments, I am in and out in 5 minutes. Like, it's the best
Because they
thing ever.
already know you, right?
Exactly.
Like, I want to work with this guy.
But the reason why I let people in is because last year I was competing for a listing, and ultimately I won over the other agent, who was a way better agent than I was. Like, someone who makes way more money, transacts way more than I do, who's got, I'd say, a larger brand than I do. And the only reason why I won over them was the seller connected with my story of addiction, because he was going through the
Wow.
exact same thing.
See
He's like, I
that?
saw your video. He's like, I know it was hard for you to talk about that, but he's like, I've gone through it. He's going on 20 years sober. And I'm like, you have to talk about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's funny. I remember years ago, somebody said to me, Dave, and this was years ago, they're like, people don't know your story. And I sat there going, like, I was raised in a good household. I never saved a kitten from a burning tree. I don't know, or maybe a burning house, or down from the tree. You get it? Like, what does that mean? But when you really figure out who you are and you just start to share who you are, you really, in essence, are telling your story. And there
Yeah.
will be people out there that connect with your story, right? So
It's,
here, I'm on TikTok.
yep.
I'm acting with purpose. I've got my, whether I schedule it in, and I like to suggest to people on a regular, like, just because we typically spend on average like 3 hours a day on these social media platforms. And I don't think people really notice how much time they spend. But typically say to people, like, schedule it in. You got to schedule your IPAs, your income producing activities, your calls, and your social, and your emails, and that stuff that you do. Plug it in so you know when in your day you're going to get it done. But I'm on there. Got my time in. I'm starting to do the scrolling, like you sort of outlined. Engage with people. I'm ready to start posting, and maybe, rethinking, like, maybe I'm either ready to start posting, or I've already been posting. I'm going to rethink the way I'm doing things based on what I'm learning here today. Walk us through the steps of actually creating a post. Like, I want anybody who's here today who doesn't TikTok to understand, like, how simple it is.
Mhm.
And anybody who does TikTok to maybe look back and go, huh, that was a cool little piece. Like I can go and implement something there. And I'm just looking through those steps, right? Because I want people to, again, understand, leverage TikTok. It is the fastest growing social media platform there is out there. People are on there like crazy. And I mean, call it what you want. It's legit, right? Like, it's definitely somewhere you got to be, right? So talk to me: planning, scheduling, recording, editing, posting, any hacks. Like, just, can you walk us through, like, the posting of a TikTok?
Honestly, the easiest way to say this is a TikTok post is no different than your Instagram story that just lives forever. Instagram stories go away in 15 seconds. I can film one right now. Hey guys, I'm here with David Greenspan, yada yada, blah 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 blah. That is my TikTok post.
So you put
Why?
that up as a TikTok. You
Well,
treat it
so
almost like a
I'm just
story.
I'm just saying, like in referencing to it, an
Yeah,
Instagram
yeah.
story, right? So I can plug you on my Instagram story, but that's how easy it is, right? You don't have to be a dancer. You don't have to follow the trends. TikTok has, in 2020, yeah, a little bit different, but now it's more raw and authentic. The people want to get to know you, and the more niche you get with your content, the more they understand you, right? And I laugh, and I shouldn't say this out, but I have laughed at some of the realtors on TikTok, not at their content, but in 2020, the height of the pandemic, when it all just hit, they're like, "Oh, James, you're just trying to get famous." I'm like, "Oh, I was born famous, number one." Right? I came
Boom,
out of
mic
the
drop.
womb famous. I got my Oscar in my hand. But
You
I'm
can see
seeing
why I
them
love this
now.
guy.
I'm sorry, I'm such an ass.
I
Like,
love it, dude. Do it.
I see them now, and they're posting on TikTok, and it's great. I applaud the effort, but there's no authenticity there. Because it's the same thing that I told them not to do on Instagram. No one gives two flying fucks about your just listed property. Here I am at 123 Main Street. Here's my newest listing. Great. Who are you? What do you do? Why, as a buyer or a consumer, do I want to work with you? I don't care that you sold 6 homes on the same street. That tells me you're transactional. What's your relationship like? How are you like with your people? I shared a couple weeks ago that I lost $100,000 in my business because I fucked up on my database. I did not do something.
You know, I don't want to hear stuff like that. You got to be on
I
top
know,
of that.
and I'm admitting to it, David. I lost Mindshare, and it cost me $100,000. I do St. Patrick's Day scratch and wins every single year, and I didn't do it this year. I completely forgot. So
And
120
that
days.
literally that cost you.
Every year I've tracked because I track where each thing comes from, right? And last year was about 104,000 in GCI. The year before was like 98,000, right? And I don't remember what 2019 was, but this year I went forward 120 days from St. Patrick's and I put a big X. I made a big mistake and I talked about it and I shared that I fucked up. And the public
And that was
like,
your TikTok video.
That was my TikTok video. I'm like,
Okay.
I fucked up.
Hold on. So I have my phone. You open up TikTok and do it, or are you doing it on your camera?
So I like to do it right in TikTok.
Okay, cool. So you open up TikTok and you actually like record while you're doing it.
Yeah. So
one take.
I put my phone on my ring light.
Yeah.
Right. Turn my ring light on so I got good lighting because we got to make sure the face looks good.
Yeah.
And I just go to like the little plus sign to start recording a video. There's a timer app so I can make sure that it's timed for 3 seconds so I can get in my place. So I'm not awkwardly running back, trying to, get in place, make sure my hair is good. I have my time to get myself set up. And it's like, I just start off. And TikTok works really well when you have a hook and a CTA. So CTA is a call to action.
Yep.
Right. So I'm going to say here, like, if you have blank, you might want to listen. So if you have a bungalow with a separate entrance in Brampton, you want to listen to this. And then 3 reasons why they should be listening. For more Brampton related real estate content, hit that plus button. There's your hook. There's your CTA.
Yeah, love it.
That's what works really well. So when I did my I fucked up video,
yeah,
I don't know what my opening line was, right? But I think it was along the lines of like, I did something that cost me 6 figures in my business or whatever it was. And then my CTA was like, hit that plus button if you want to hear more I fucked up stories. Right? And I'll share more stories that I've done in my tenure of being a real estate agent that's cost me money.
Talk about authenticity. Like, talk about literally dropping the guard and going, this is what happened.
I'm not afraid or ashamed to say I've made a mistake.
Which bodes well in the end because now people are tuning in and following and the followers are up and now you're building more mind share. I mean, no pun intended there, but seriously, you're building more mind share on the fact that people now are getting to see who you are and the real version of who you are and going again, by the time you walk into that listing presentation, you barely have to do anything because they already know that they want to work with you. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we got the phone on the ring light. You're going directly into TikTok to do the recording, right? You turn on the camera, it starts recording. You've got the hook. You got the 3 things you wanted to do. You got the CTA.
Yeah.
Done. There's your 60 seconds.
You can film one of 3 things. You can do 15 seconds, 60 seconds, or 3 minutes. Very few creators have the full 10 minutes.
Right.
Even if you have it, don't use it.
People, it's a long time.
Honestly, I've monitored my analytics very, very closely. Like I had, I think it was like 1.9 million views in March alone organically on TikTok.
Wow, killing it, bro.
Right. So,
are you putting money behind that at all?
What's that?
Do you put money behind that?
No, that's organic.
Good for you.
I don't pay for anything. Yeah,
good for you. Hold on, say it again. I don't pay for anything. I love that. Does everybody hear that? Authenticity, consistency, execution. No money down, 1.9 million views. And upwards of 50 transactions. Just in March, 1.9 million views and upwards of 50 transactions in 2021.
Yeah.
No money spent.
Yeah. So before we even post that video, we have our hook, we have our body, we have our call to action. There's a variety of things you can do. So I always say put captions on your video. TikTok has built-in captions right there. You just hit the captions button, right? But you want to edit your captions because it's not as, I don't know, intuitive, I guess.
Yeah, they can have like some weird typos and stuff sometimes and not really
Yeah.
read you the same way you're speaking. Yeah.
Or weird spelling, or wrong pronunciation of if you want to use like there, or there, which one did you really want to say, right? So
I
you want
like
to,
that. You're being grammatically correct. I'm
I
so
know.
about
See,
that.
like,
I can't say like the there being used wrong. You're like, no.
I'm a perfectionist, right?
You know
So
what?
that's,
And me being like with the writing and all the stuff that we do, like from the content and stuff, I'm always like, nah, you got to hit those ones right. I'm sorry.
yeah. So it's there. But then you can also add a trending sound on the back of your video. So trending sounds are what's on your For You page, which is that main feed of TikTok, right?
Do you always add one? I wanted to ask you about that, like
You
music
know what?
wise and stuff.
No, so I don't
Okay.
always do it. And the
Okay.
reason why is because sometimes the sounds are so overplayed that it just,
Okay.
you get lost in the noise,
Okay.
right? So I find my hooks are enough to get people engaged, mostly because I'm such an idiot. People are just like, what is this guy up to now? Right? Like I had a video last week that went somewhat viral because I said, here's what I spent in a day. I spent $285 on coffee and wine and parking. And people were like, I'm into that. No trending sound, just me and my stupid voice. Right? That
Talk about authenticity though, for real though. Like so what it comes back to, man. Like yesterday I was shopping. Jen dragged me out to go to the mall. We were at Euroclear all day yesterday,
okay, I
right?
feel sorry for you.
Shopping. Like, yeah, but it was dead. And trust
Oh,
me, like
okay.
when it
Also,
comes to a mall, like I don't want to be near a mall ever. I don't care if it's dead, if it's busy. I don't want to go. So
yeah,
she was all excited, like, yeah, she's doing the stories. So look where we are. And she's like, we booked a date day. I'm like, no, you booked the date day. I don't want to be at Yorkdale. I'd love to spend time with you. I just don't want to be shopping.
right.
And then recording, like while I was going through, I was like storing. I'm like, okay, I got 1 hour left. I'm still live. Like we're good. Like, and like all jokes aside, had an amazing day with Jennifer yesterday. But it was about the authenticity of like, I'm going to be real with you. I'm walking through a mall right now. People are watching me talking to my phone and recording. And I'm telling you straight, I don't want to be here, but I love my wife.
Yeah.
And how many people were coming back and like messaging? They're like, I get it. I so understand. I hope you had a good day. You guys look like you're having fun. Real conversations. And none of this had to do with business.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I post on TikTok is not real estate related. Yeah, there's a lot of real estate content
That's
there, but
it.
I throw in random stuff like a day in my life, right? Or sometimes I will follow a trending sound and actually do the trend that involves with that sound. But a lot of times I don't. It's just like whatever comes to my mind. Whereas my Instagram, I have my content calendar and it's very thought out. My TikTok is to an extent, but I've got a bunch of drafts always ready to go. So I can just plug and play if I want something personal or business or whatever the case is.
How many
Right?
TikToks a day?
I generally do between 3 and 4 a day.
3 and 4 a day. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
And
not filming 3
hashtags?
to 4 a day, always with hashtags.
Always with hashtags.
Yeah, I'm
Is there
not
a
filming
number
3
of
to 4 a
hashtags?
day. Pardon?
Is there a certain number of hashtags?
I try to use no more than, like, 5 or 6.
Okay. And
'Cause
just like
you don't have a
like
big
a one
body.
line kind of headline.
Yeah, you don't have a
Not
big
like
body like
not like a dialogue of like what's going on with the video and then it's like a one liner, 5 hashtags, done.
yeah, like, if you have a
Okay.
CTA of, like, I don't know, call I don't know, hit that plus button if you're in the market for a new condo in, I don't know, Beamsville. I don't know where Beamsville is. Is that a thing? Is that a town? I don't know, right? I think it is. I heard it once. So, but then in your body, you can put like where my Beamsville shoppers at, and then put like the little like hey emoji, right? And then do like your curated hashtags. Because again, it's all about being niche, right? So don't
Gotcha.
put realtor, don't put
Right.
Toronto real estate, don't
Yeah.
put Mississauga real estate, right? Put like Beamsville moms or Beamsville food scene, things that people are actually trending, like watching. Because the real estate related hashtags that I've been noticing, it's only realtors who follow them.
I was about to say, you're actually trying to get to a bigger, wider audience. You're not just trying to get to your realtor audience. You got to get out to the people. Like, where are they?
Exactly.
So figure out what your topic is and then hashtag around that. But think about the audience that would be wanted to tune into that
Hmm.
and then hashtag around those people.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're recording the video directly in TikTok. We've got, and again, I'm just reiterating this for everybody because I'm hoping people are taking notes right here, but you're recording the video. How do you come up with the content?
So that's the hard part.
For sure.
Sometimes I take things that I have gone on in my day sometimes I see things online that I'm like, I want to talk about that. Like I will admit that I love going after BlogTO. I love going after them because they put so much misinformation of the market out there that I'm like, no, fuck this, right? Like they're wrong,
Mhm.
right? So BlogTO is one that I love going after. I love doing Toronto history. That's something that I think does really well. Toronto
Seen
neighborhoods,
that.
like I
Yeah,
love
very
going
cool stuff.
down different
Love that.
neighborhoods in my city. But then also like I said with Instagram last time, right? Start small, break down. I'm giving you 5 videos right now, guys. Like, listen, 5 videos you can do tomorrow. 5 steps to getting your home ready for the market. 15-second videos each. That's 5 pieces. You don't have to put them every day. Do one every other day. I've given you now enough content for 2 weeks.
I hope you guys are taking notes. And I got to
Like how
say, I love the one about the Toronto history. And I think that people have to really truly understand the value in something like that, because what you just did there was you said, hey, I live in Toronto. I work in Toronto. This is my playground. I'm
yeah.
not going to sit here and sell you on real estate. I'm just going to educate you on Toronto. I'm going to give you a really cool piece of history or something to chew on. And what that's going to do on the overall is that's going to plant that seed in people's minds and go, this guy knows Toronto.
Yeah.
There's the back end of it. And that there's, do we call it the subconscious? I don't know, but there's
Call it Mindshare.
the, I like that. I like that. Subliminal messaging, I don't know, whatever you call it. The point is, I'm going to talk about this, and you're going to notice that because of that, you're going to actually have faith and trust in me that I actually know what's going on over here.
But people remember shit from down the road. So I
Right.
started roasting ICE condos in 2020. Now every realtor's doing it because it's easy to get views that way, right? But I was the OG, let's shit on ICE condos. I was in a restaurant last week, right? I was at Blue Blood, Casa Loma, and this random guy from a random table walks by. He's like, hey, aren't you the ICE condo guy? I haven't talked about ICE condo in the longest time, and yet that's the
Nice.
number.
That's my share, bro. That's my share right there. So
Right?
here, okay. So we've come up with some cool content. We've recorded directly into TikTok. We've got the hook. We've got the body. We got the CTA. You can add music, not add music. Sometimes we're going with the trending songs, and again, the trending stuff is the stuff that a lot of people are listening to. But there is that point where it's almost oversaturated. You almost want to find another tune, or you don't necessarily need to throw a tune in there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're done. You've put up a single sort of almost headline about 5 hashtags and like boom, post.
Yep.
Done. It's that simple.
That simple.
How much time would it take, typically speaking, to put a TikTok up from the process we just talked about? Now, let's just assume here, because you and I both understand what it really takes to come up with value content. The content plan was done already. I knew what I wanted to talk about. I'm now ready. How much time do
Yeah.
you normally spend on that?
Me, I can have a video filmed, captions, hashtagged, trending sound yes or no, or whatever I need, less than 5 minutes.
Oof, beautiful. That's fast.
Yeah, honestly, I have right in my weekly schedule, I have built in my Mondays between 11 and 1 is my content creation. That's when I either come up with the content ideas, that's when I come up with, if I'm filming videos, a lot of the time I either film them in my house, in my car, or in my office. So you see a lot of this.
Yep.
The window behind my head right now, that's my office. I film a lot right here.
Yep.
But there's usually really good lighting depending on the time of day, but also with my ring light. Because TikTok, if you have a dark video, it won't push it out.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
TikTok is so big on good lighting that it's 2022. If COVID hasn't taught us anything about these damn Zoom calls, get yourself a fucking ring light. They're $39 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Order one
They
right
cost
now.
nothing. They cost nothing.
Right?
They really do.
I've got 2 in front of me right now with both of the different filter on it, right? Just have good lighting. But it
For
takes
sure.
nothing to do a video. Like literally nothing.
And real important note there as well. Just I hope everybody really caught that. You said it quickly, but it's between 11 and 1 on Mondays. And again, I don't really care what time anybody does their content planning, but the point is, in order to execute the way he's executing, he has gone in and actually scheduled time to say, I'm going to come up with my content. And I got to tell you, we are very much the same here with Mindshare. It's, I will come up with a lot of random stuff just based on like in the moment stuff that I'll just go because we're so used to just going. I'll get on camera, no problem. But in order to execute consistently the way we do, and again, we do, the whole thing is we've got to plan out what's happening next. Where are we going? Why are we going there? What's trending right now in terms of what are we hearing from people? What's the conversation going on out there? What kind of things do people need to hear about or listen to? We've got to document that. And then when we do that, now it's ready to execute. We know kind of what we want to say. Boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Right. So I love the fact that you mentioned that. Now, okay, post is now up.
Mm-hmm.
What happens once my post is up? What should I be doing after I hit post? I just hit post. Now what? Shut down the app and go home? Go back to work, whatever. Like what's is there something to do there? Do I have to keep doing, or could I close it down?
You could close it down.
Okay.
You could. I've done it this way with Instagram, and it works well for me. This is how I've built my following, how I've built my reputation, I built my brand. I pick one or two of the top hashtags that I've used, and I
Mhm.
comment on the last 10 to 12 posts that were put up that morning. So I search by recent, and I just, because the people who that I'm commenting on are still active, because I want them to look back at my profile and see my shit, right? And maybe they'll connect with it. Even if I don't want to connect with them, they might connect with me.
So if you were going to hashtag happy day and you always put up that hashtag, you're going to go find the other 12 hashtags that just use that and comment on their post just to go, I'm going to engage with that hashtag.
Just as simple as like, great post,
Yep.
love the message, oh my
Love
god,
it.
fantastic, little things like that, because it shows that their content's being pushed out. Then they're going to want to click on your profile, come back and look at you, and comment on your shit.
Smart.
Right? So that takes me like literally 5 minutes, David. 5 minutes to post, 5 minutes to engage, shut down the app, then I'm off to work.
You engage first or you post first? Is there a reason for either? It doesn't matter.
I usually post first because I can actually click the hashtag that I want to go after.
Gotcha.
Right. And then I again sort by recent, go after like the last 10. It takes what, seconds to make a comment. You're not writing a whole novel. You're not professing your love to these people.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, David, love the hat in your video. Done. Simple.
Love it. Okay, cool. Right. Yeah, you know what? And what I take away from this and what I'm going to share with everybody here is whether it's before or whether it's after, make sure that you engage with other people in the process of doing your posting, because it will bump the algorithm. It will nudge the people that are sort of there, that are also looking to get eyeballs on their post. It will cause a bunch of things to happen if you engage and post, no matter which order it is. When Katie Lance, my friend Katie Lance, right? So Get Social Smart. When Katie was on, she's very big into the Facebook and Instagram thing. She was saying very similar, like make sure you engage with people and then do your post. Here we can post and then engage. Again, the way I'm taking it, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. The point is make sure we engage and we post kind of simultaneously.
Yeah. One of the
That's
biggest
where we start
things
to beef it up.
TikTok is connecting with your niche. So as a normal content creator, yeah, connect with your niche, connect with other beauty bloggers, connect with other influencers. As realtors, your niche is your competition.
Mm-hmm.
So should you be connecting and engaging with them? Yes. Yes. I want to know what every other realtor is doing, because I want to know if something works for them, can I use that in my business? If they're doing something stupid, can I use that in my business? Or what can I not do? Or what, you know what I mean? So Toronto is, I call it the smallest big city out there. So everybody knows everybody. A lot of Toronto realtors. There's also a lot of noise out there. So the noise I don't connect with. And I connect with the ones that are actually providing items of value.
Well, I call that recon, right? Like reconnaissance. Like it's a military term, but it's like, I'm going to go in and find out what my competition is up to. They may not even know that I'm watching, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to learn. I'm going to see I don't want to listen, blinders on, headphones on. I don't want to compare myself to others. I want to make sure that I am authentically who I am and not try to be somebody else for other people. Much the same. There's nothing wrong with understanding what your competition is up to see what hasn't worked, right?
I'm going to disagree with one word you said.
What's that?
The word competition.
Okay.
The only competition you have is the
it's
person
right there. That's
your competition.
Well done,
That's
mister.
the only person you're in competition with daily. You have no competition.
I love it, buddy.
Right? There's only one.
Well
James
done.
Stewart,
Well played
one
there.
Virginia
Like
Munn. There's only one David Greenspan. You have no competition. You are your competition. The rest out there is noise, right? But you want to know what the noise is doing, right? Are they having a rock concert or a jazz fest?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, now what about comments and feedback? As we kind of talked to this off the top today. Okay, comments and feedback. What is the etiquette to engaging with people?
Okay, so I like to do my engaging at the end of the day, right?
Okay.
Like when I'm, if I'm making dinner or if I'm stuck in traffic, right? Let's be real.
As I'm drinking my water, almost spit it everywhere. Yeah.
Sorry. But, I like to do it at the end of the day because then I can relax. I can just get to enjoy it. But the longer I leave the content up, the more comments it gets. And I just like to see other people's dialogue with each other on my posts. So I like every single comment that's positive and I reply back. If it's negative, it depends on my mood. I'll either tell you to go fuck yourself or I'll block you or I'll respond back with you're wrong.
But
right?
will you? So you will engage with that and kind of do the, hey, I'm going to stand up right now and say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I clap back at my haters all the time,
Okay.
right? And a lot of times it's they get offended that they block me and go away, which is what I want. I don't want them on my page. Get lost, right? Sometimes that you can turn that hate around because you can almost read between the lines of what they were trying to say. It comes across hateful, but if you educate them a little bit, they respond back in the right way. But a lot of times I have this great line. It's called bippity boppity blocked. Thank you, Cinderella, bippity boppity doo, or whatever
Yeah,
her
yeah,
daughter
yeah.
just said.
It's Cinderella for sure.
Bippity boppity blocked. Like, there's the door. Like, just kick rocks,
Yeah.
right? Get it. Because I don't have time for that. Right. So if you're coming at my personal appearance, if you're coming at me with a gay slur, if you're coming at me with anything else that you think you know about me, where, people are slandering my name for this, that, or the other, I'm going to just block you right away because I don't even want that negativity around. Right.
So if we look at how to deal with that, and we look because look, social media is meant to be a place to connect. It's meant to be a place to socialize. It's meant to be fun. And I believe that people at some point in time, we would say people go there for fun. They'd go there for entertainment, I guess one of the same, to learn something, to connect with people, to see what others are doing, maybe a little bit of research. But, as much as it is all of that, social media is also a very toxic place to be.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's, and especially in our industry. I mean, I don't know why. I don't understand why. Um, but we continue to have this discussion around the way we treat each other and the things that we do. And when it comes to day-to-day interactions with even call it other agents and specifically focused again on this like social media channel, right? Never mind how do we treat each other like in person, but why do we feel so compelled to berate each other, to demean each other? And a lot of people, even while hiding behind a screen, we've seen stuff with fake accounts where people won't even show who they are and they just want to go after it, as opposed to owning up to it, like leaving defaming comments, like really just going after people. Why are we doing this? Like, what's the deal with this? And how do we deal with this type of behavior is maybe the question. How do we do it? And this is in an effort to manage people's emotions, manage people's mindsets. Mental health is something that's near and dear to my heart,
Yeah.
and I talk about this a lot, and I put a lot of videos out there. Um, you know, I can't stand the fact that as a society we focus on, I think whatever it is, January 26th, Bell Let's Talk Day. Everybody talks about it for 24 hours and all of a sudden it doesn't matter anymore. No, no, no. Mental health is something that most people don't talk about. They most of the time they won't share it with other people. They will just literally hide in it because they're scared to tell others about it, and then it eats at them. And now we've got this social platform where either people are publicly doing it or you don't even know who they are. How do we deal with this, man? Like, I mean, it keeps happening and it's something that we keep talking about. I want to keep helping everybody who is either A, on the end of being actually attacked, or B, the people that are doing the attacking. I feel they've got other problems as well. I want to help both those people. I really
So
do.
it, I want to make sure I phrase this the right way. So it's not just real estate, it's every industry. It's easier to tear somebody down than it is to build them up.
But why?
That's just how people are. It's easier for them to tear someone else
Like, I
down.
don't agree with that. And I know you're not saying that as your own personal thought. I'm saying, like,
I don't agree
I
with it
think
either,
you
but
just
it's
said it too.
society.
Hey, nice hat. Like great hat or a great whatever, nice shoes, or you did a great job. Why is it so much harder to say that than it is to say, like, I didn't like what you did? Why is I didn't like so easy to say? Why?
Jealousy. It's
Yeah,
much
well,
easier
come
to hate
on.
from the outside than that it's so stupid. But the only way to stop this is to not let it affect you. And I get it. It affects me all the time. I have a very tough exterior. And I had a call with, I don't know if Virginia's still watching or not. I had a call with Virginia the other night. And I have a very tough exterior, right? I let a lot bounce off me during the day. The minute I come home to my safe space, I'm a completely different person, right? That's when the shit really gets to me because it's over and over. And there's some days where like it's really heavy. And there are days where it's like, I shut down. I go right to bed because I can't handle it, right? So the only way to stop this is to just let them know that we don't give a shit, right? Like talk about all you want because it shows more about who you are than it does
Mhm.
about me.
Yeah.
Because you're the one making fun of me, my appearance, your hat, right? Your car, your lifestyle. It shows more about you than it does about us. So as long as you don't let it affect you, which is very hard to do publicly, at least, like you can just let it affect you at home, right? Home is your safe space. Let it all out at home. But on the outside, let them see that you're winning, not them. because I went through something very heavy over Christmas where it really hurt my brand. I lost a lot of followers. I lost a big brand endorsement. I lost clients from it. I didn't let it show on my exterior that it was getting to me. Thankfully, I had a lot of content saved in my drafts. If I didn't, I would not have posted because I could not sit in front of the camera because I was just so disgusted with what was going on. But I kept putting out positive messages and it worked. It worked. I signed like the month of January, 13 million dollars with a new client that kind of, replaced what I lost.
Rejuvenated everything again.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's just a lot of, I don't know, self-love. I don't know what the right word is. I'm not an expert on this shit, David. I just,
No, you know what, man? Look, I'm asking the question. I say it again because you do put out a lot of content, and you, such as me, we will stand up for what we believe as opposed to just going with the norm. Like I am the first guy, and I know you'd say you're the first guy. So again, why we jive? It's like I will be right there at the top to go, no, 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 disagree. Here's why. I'm not going to do it in a total combative way. I'll do it with some constructive stuff behind it, but I'm going to step up and say something, right?
yeah,
And what that means is you're going to get people who disagree with what you have to say. And
yeah,
then you got to be able to deal with that. And I think that that's part of the bigger sense of the word. If we go backwards, a few minutes here around fear, why people have such a fear is like, what are other people going to say? What are they going to think? And I really truly believe that, when you put yourself out there, you got to recognize people are going to say something, right?
absolutely.
And understand how to deal with it by almost either ignoring it or going back at it in a professional way. I don't understand the reasoning for the hatred and the fact that we think because we're hiding behind a keyboard and I'm in my safe place right now that nobody's going to get to me and I'm going to be able to say whatever I want. Right? To me, like, I mean, I always make this comparison, like as a hockey guy, like we're sitting there playing like men's league hockey. We all have jobs in the morning. Yet you got that one guy that probably had too much to drink at the bar before the game, has a full face mask on and runs around hacking and tripping people, like looking to injure people, yet doesn't want to fight.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you can't be that guy. You got to come on with no cage and you got to be willing to drop those gloves if you're going to be that guy. Otherwise, hey, don't be that guy. I don't need to be that guy. And let's just go have some fun.
So it's funny because you're right. They love to run their mouth online or they hide behind their mask and will high stick you on the ice. So during this whole Christmas
I
thing,
can't
I ran
stand that stuff,
into
man.
one of the girls at the LCBO and I saw her flat. I said to her, here's your chance. I'm right in front of you. Say it to my face. She shit herself, David. She could
Right.
not say it. I'm like, I'm
Right.
right here. Say it to me.
Right.
You're running around online because you're safe online, but I'm right in front of you. What? I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to yell at you. I just want you to say it to my face because you're so brave online, but then you chicken out when I'm in front of you. And that's the thing. They'll never say it to your face because it's easier to talk about you when you're not there.
My suggestion, everybody, is stop talking. Right? Like look, you said it a moment ago, right? It says a lot about the person doing it. It says a ton about them. And I mean, I've said this to many people before, right? You'll never catch me talking behind your back because if you heard it from somebody else, trust me, I told you first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise, what happens? Well, if you're going to talk behind my back or talk about somebody else behind their back to me, what are you saying about me when I'm not around? You know what I mean? So it shows who you really are, your true colors. And again, go back to that. It's not authentic. And people read through that very quickly.
They do.
You know,
And eventually you have to start telling lies and lies and lies to cover for yourself. And then there comes a point where you can't control the lies anymore. And eventually something gets exposed. And that's
yeah.
when you lose all credibility.
Well, look, I would say to everybody, I brought this up in an effort to sort of, again, deliver a message of saying, look, the bullying that takes place online, especially adults bullying adults, we were not raised like this. We brought our, for those of us with kids, we brought our kids up differently. We were raised differently. We were told not to do these things. Yet we do them and we do them as adults. And I can't get my head wrapped around it. It goes back to like, what are you doing with your time in a day? It just doesn't make sense to me. But look, taking it back to this for a second, and where I got onto that, and forgive me on that, was you put up the post, you get the commentary from people. It's how do you deal with it professionally? What kind of etiquette goes into it? But let's just all say, forget about any of the negativity. Good things are happening. People are engaging. How do we now take this? I hate calling people leads, but how do we take that new opportunity and turn it into like almost trying to convert it into an actual business deal?
Yeah, plain and simple.
That
You
like
don't.
take it off of TikTok now and get on the phone. Like how do you?
No, you
Okay,
don't. You
what do
don't
you
do
do?
nothing with you just continue to engage with them because
Okay,
eventually they come around.
okay,
So my very first TikTok client that I got, I had been conversing with her. Like she would comment on every single one of my posts. she would like my videos. She'd tag me like her friends' videos, and I would always engage with her. And then eventually, I recognized her username as the same name as her email address, and she was my very first TikTok client, and she was a seller and a buyer, and it was a combined transaction of $1.3 million.
Nice.
Right? So when they comment, they're not your leads. They're not your anybody. They're just people.
Okay.
They're not your lead until they come into your inbox, either your email inbox or your like social media inbox.
And they've done that on their accord.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. So then the trick to actually doing this is the consistency of the execution, having value add content that may not necessarily be real estate, but it's going to make sure that you are authentic. It's engaging with other people. And then once people are ready, they will engage back to you to the point where they've now basically said, hey, I'd like to talk more business. And now you can take it to that next level.
It's like, you take it back to I'm going to throw it back on you now with your Mindshare program, right? When you're coaching your agents, they're going to put up one post to create Mindshare. That's the only post they do all month, and they do nothing else. They don't talk to any single one in their comments that comment on that post. That's not it.
No, that does not work whatsoever.
It's a lot. Yeah. So now you're coaching your clients to post continuously, engage people continuously, keep building Mindshare continuously, right?
It's all about the consistency.
That's all it is. Yeah. Like, and that's where the business comes from, is consistency, right? We talk about it from, the old school method of real estate marketing with flyer drops and door knocking and cold calling. You can't door knock one street one time and forget about it for the next 6 months. It's got to be consistent.
Or you can't just send a flyer and not door knock. You got to,
no.
Well, that's the thing here. You can't just send the flyer and not door knock. That's like posting and not engaging. That was when you said it, I was like, bang, like it was like the exact same thing. And for everybody to just put that into perspective right now, right?
Yeah, simple.
Okay, a little bit of rapid fire, just a little bit. But are you still using Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Should we all get off?
No, I mean,
I'm waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, okay, perfect, let's go. As we're broadcasting live to Facebook and I'm saying that.
My mind just went like X-rated with that last comment. Sorry. I told you not having on these things. No. So Facebook is good for a variety of things. It keeps me connected with people's birthdays, right? Most people who I went to high school with or I played hockey with. Okay. It's good for the birthday side of things. It also keeps me involved with organized real estate, which I'm very passionate about. Yeah. I just finished my 2-year term as an area director. I'm taking the year off, and then it'll probably run again next year. So I use Facebook for a lot of that stuff. In real estate groups, I think I'm only in one group, and it's because it's Toronto focused. It's not a garbage, group. This one is actually valuable information. So there's that. Other than that, like with Facebook, I don't really care for it, right? Like, I don't care.
Instagram?
Yes, daily.
Love it. Like, you're on Instagram just as much as you are with TikTok. Those are your two platforms?
Yeah, I use Instagram almost like a second website. It's just more because it keeps me like, it's two different audiences, right? So I use Instagram for more of like my Realtor database. Okay. A lot of realtors are not following me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Right. And they want to know what I'm doing on IG. So I'm engaging with them. It's almost like my referral network, but it's just, I can show off my fashion. It keeps me involved with a bunch of other people. And also there's a lot of events that go on through Instagram, like with Toronto Society and charity things. And so I use that for that.
Cool. Percentage of time devoted to sort of the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So if you said like 100% of time, what would be that sort of split there?
Okay, so if I took 100% of my social media time, 60% would be TikTok.
Okay.
I'd probably say 30% Instagram or 35% Instagram, like 5% Facebook.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Interesting. And bottom line, should everybody be on TikTok? Like, is that it? Like there's no questions, like, no?
No.
Okay.
No, because it goes back to the whole ghost profile thing that I talked about last time, right? Okay. If you're going to have an account and not use it, what's the point of having it? That's like, me being on Tinder, but I'm in a relationship. Like, I'm not looking for another relationship, so I'm not going to ever use it. So why would you be on TikTok if you're not going to use it?
I like that. I got to tell you, I've been married to Jen for we've been together 20, 21 years. I've never experienced that whole internet thing where you can just swipe left, swipe right. I think it's darn cool. I'd like to try it once just for the sake of it because I never had that opportunity. But at the same time, it's like, it makes zero sense. I'm not going anywhere. There's no reason to be there, so I'm not going to do it.
Right. But like I would never use one of those apps, right? So there's no point in me having a profile if I'm not going to use it. So when people get on TikTok just to sit there, why? Go read a magazine if you're going to just sit there.
Okay. Okay. So, but if you're going to use it, then get on. If you're
Yes. If
actually
you're
going to
going to
take
use
time
it,
to engage, then do it.
if you're going to commit to it, yes. If you're not, don't waste the data on your phone.
Cool. How do you know it's been a successful day for you?
Oh, if I haven't cried. No, I'm kidding. A successful day for me, honestly, is just like knowing I've touched somebody's life, whether it's a client, whether it's a member of the public, whether it's another realtor. I know I've had a successful day when I've made at least one person smile.
I like that. I like that a lot. And you know what? On Wednesday, which we usually consider as a quote unquote wealth Wednesday, maybe a little bit overplayed to that extent, but I think shining positivity and good vibes on people every day. Forget about just Wednesday is positive. It's the way we should all be living, and I love that. If I've been able to make somebody smile, man, that goes way further than anything else. And I'm actually going to come back for a moment here when we talked about the stuff that goes on online and how to deal with that stuff. I think to anybody, and this ties back into the smile thing here, if you're out there on social media and things are not going the way that you want them to go, be it from views, viewership, followers, be it from people saying things that maybe you don't like, forgetting about social media, maybe just in the grand scheme of life. One thing that I find incredibly powerful for me is when I go home and I sit down and it's just me and it's nighttime and I'm about to lay my head down and all those thoughts are still ruminating about what did and didn't happen in a day. um, Journaling is like my golden ticket to like get myself out of that, because now I can look and go, oh my God, like, I'm grateful for our health and our happiness and our safety. I'm grateful you took the time to be here on the show today. I'm grateful for every single one of you that are listening to the show right now. I'm grateful for, and I can go through all these things. And all of a sudden you look at this long list of things you're grateful for and you go, that one person had this to say, and I'm going to let that be the thing that like tears me down today.
Yeah.
Not happening, right? So
Yeah.
to anybody that's dealing with stuff, like a pen and paper is one of the most powerful things you can ever leverage. And I think that when you do look back on and go, I was able to make somebody else smile. I'm able to smile right now. How much more do you need out of your day, right?
But imagine the power of a smile, though. Like, and you're walking down Young Street, you're in a
Yep.
mall, right? Masks are off now, so it's easier.
Yep.
Someone you see, and you can always tell someone's face when they're going to, you give them a little smile, and you watch their whole personality change. They pull their shoulders back, they pull themselves up. You've just lifted them up just by giving them a fucking smile. It's nothing.
Dude, that's what I put out. I put the video out a couple weeks ago in my vlog. It was exactly that, show off. And
Yeah,
it's like show off, but it was like saying show off your smile. Like now the masks are off, like smile at people. It's amazing how far a smile will go.
honestly.
It is so awesome, right?
Yeah.
So James, final words, tips, anything that you can sort of share to anybody, for everybody tuned in, just like what can they do to get out there, build more mind share using TikTok, or just in general to help themselves just have a really strong spring market and just, an overall amazing year.
I honestly
Final
think
words.
just like be you, right? Like I said earlier, there's only one James of City, there's only one Virginia Munn, there's only one David Greenspan. Just be you, right? And whatever version of you that is, be it, right? Because people will connect with you and that'll build more mind share. More mind share builds more business. More business builds more opportunity, right? That's what you want. By being you, you can accomplish so much. By trying to be somebody else, you're going to fail.
James, where can people find you? And I want to encourage everybody to go, check this guy out on Insta, check him out on TikTok, follow him, tune in. Where can we direct people?
Honestly, TikTok at James in the City and Instagram at the James in the City.
Yeah. Well, Mr. James in the City, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very, very much for all the time and the insights today. As always, it's an absolute honor to have you on the Mindshare podcast. So thank you for making the time.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be right back with you, pal.
Okay.
You're either watching us live, you're watching this recording, you're listening to this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. Maybe you went to my website, mindshow101.com. Quite frankly, you can hear it on all the major podcast platforms. As well, of course, while you're on my site, make sure you download the free copy of the Ultimate Marketing Bundle for Realtors. This is a 31-page ebook. It's packed with sales tips and tricks. It's got a whole breakdown of the 7 ways to communicate and the 2 audiences. This is exactly how you need to be building Mindshare so that you can get more market share. So I want to encourage you again, go over to mindshow101.com and download that ebook. Also, if you're interested in talking about personalized one-to-one coaching to help you get to your next level, we are having some amazing success stories. You can check out our Insta page, our Facebook page. You can check out all the stuff that we're up to and just hear about some of the amazing things going on with a lot of our coaching clients. If you're looking to get to your next level, we are here for you. I encourage you, please reach out to myself, reach out to my team, and let's set up a free strategy call just to see if we're a fit, learn more about what you're looking to achieve and how we are going to help you do exactly that. Also, please don't forget that our push to 100 is on. So right now you can go to ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. Again, that's ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. We make it super, super easy. Click the big 5 stars, give us a review, let us know how much you love the show. And of course, as I always tell you, I am very, very grateful for you. Thank you for tuning in. And I would be absolutely grateful if you would take 2 moments just to go over there and do that. Of course, if we haven't yet, connected on social, connect with me at Mindshare101 on Instagram, or pardon me, on Facebook, and David Greenspan 101 on Instagram. I want to thank Virginia Munden and the Buzz Conference for sponsoring today's episode. Be sure to visit their website, www.thebuzzconference.com. Follow them on Instagram at The Buzz Conference. Keep tabs on all of the awesome events they are always hosting, including in the latest copy of the Buzz Digital Magazine. And of course, I want to thank Kids Keep in Touch Systems for being with us today. They are always sponsoring us. Of course, if you haven't checked this out yet, just go to my site, mindshow101.com, and click on marketing. This has been another episode of the Mindshare podcast. Thank you for tuning in.